Happy Monday and happy holidays. And today I have friends who are celebrating solstice to observe solstice, and we have Christmas coming up in a couple days, and Hanukkah's coming up, and let's see, Chinese New Year, and all sorts of holidays. So today I'm going to be talking about coping through the holidays, because this tends to be a very difficult time for people with eating disorders. And we need to be aware of how the holidays affect us. Otherwise, it can catch up on us really fast, and it can be very triggering. And instead of enjoying the holidays, for a lot of people, the holidays just create a lot of stress. So I'm going to give you a few ideas of things that you can do to help you through the holidays. So first of all, I would say find something relaxing to do. For me, I'm really have pretty bad ADHD, so I'm always having to do something. So my coping skill is, or one of my main coping things to relieve stress is crocheting. In fact, here I'm going to show you what I'm working on. So here's just one of the many projects that I'm working on that I'm crocheting this holiday season. And this is something that's really great for me because it gives me a creative outlet, and it's actually extremely relaxing for me, and is a way for me to just, have something to do if I have to sit and listen and actually pay attention better. It's a really crazy thing, but for anxiety, for a lot of people, picking up something like crocheting is a really great thing to do. And then second of all, I have this little laminated card that I made, and what I did is I made this a couple of years ago, but I shrunk it down, and like you can almost see it. You see I laminated it. And this is, see if I can bring it into focus. It may not because of the glare. But anyway, there you can kind of see it. Interventions in a pinch. So here's the thing that I came up with for myself. Write your feelings, sing a song, write an email, call someone, breathe, and let's see. Oh, 5 senses. That means like pay attention to everything that's around you, like what do you hear, what do you see, being in the moment, reading, listening to angry music, and that's actually something that helps me and actually what I do is I match my emotions. So if I'm really, really angry, then I'll start out with something really grungy, just bitchy, whatever, and then gradually tone it down to something more calm, and that actually helps. Is a really good skill to help change your mood, to help you when you're depressed. It's just to start out with something that matches and gradually work up to something that's really calming. So I won't glare you out with the anymore, but listing 20 strengths, and if you can't find the strengths yourself, go ask people around you. Say, what are my strengths? I'm having a hard time thinking of them right now. Physical activity, of course, in a healthy way, not in an obsessive, destructive way. Picking a goal to work on. For me, making bread, or finding a hobby. Pray, sleep, give gratitude. What are you grateful for? And then focus on what's not broken. So, find one thing that's not broken in your life. And even if it's, your toenail or whatever, what's not broken. The second side, I have a list of goals, and again, this is a couple years ago, so some of this may change over the time, but the goals that I had at the time, that I still have some of them, is to be organized in my house, get my house organized, be in nature more, improve my running skills, my boxing skills, work on my book that I'm writing, work on a thesis, increase knowledge in areas of interest, working on my spirituality, working on my ideas for creating a retreat program for different therapy ideas that I have, and I have more ideas that have come since then. And then affirmations, and using I am statements to affirm what you want to believe about yourself, because when you use I am statements, your brain is stating that you're already doing that, and so whether you believe it or not, The more you say that to yourself, the more it becomes ingrained in your head, and what you tell yourself all the time is what you're going to believe, and your mind cannot distinct between the past and the present. I mean, if you think about, if you tell a kid, hey, don't spill your milk, the only thing that the brain hears is spill your milk, and so of course what happens? The kid spills the milk. And the thing happens with us if we keep on saying, if we say, or I'm stupid, or I can't do this, I can't do that, we're setting ourselves up for failure. So instead of saying, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to go to school, say, I am going to school, I am, use I am statements. So there's some really great tools. This other thing that I would suggest is, with the internet, I had a list at one time of like 15 things that I would do instead of using my eating disorder behaviors. And so if I felt like doing one of my behaviors, then I would make myself get through, I'd say, okay, I have to get through these 15 items, and before I can resort to that, and usually, I'd get through 3 or 4 of them, and I wouldn't feel like doing it anymore, and so it was a good distraction. And of course, it's not always going to stop things, because we're not perfect, and recovery is a process, but the more you practice it, the better that you'll get at it. Look around for a support group, and that can be a really important thing. And, once, it's really funny, our society's extremely distorted, because we're going to see Christmas candy and, just all kinds of food until January 1st, and then as soon as it's December 31st, excuse me, guess what happens? You hit Walmart, and here is this pallet full height of scales right next to the checkout line and right across from the candy bar aisle. So what does that tell you about our society? It's like, okay, now we made you fat, now we're going to put you right on the weight loss track that doesn't work, because dieting doesn't work in our culture. We're the most obsessed culture with dieting and food, and yet we are the most unhealthy. And I wonder why, because we constantly deny ourselves and saying we can't have this, we can't have that, and it's that brain thing that you say, I can't have that, all your body says is, oh, my brain heard, oh, I have that, and so that's what you're going to be attracted to. So find ways to avoid or getting sucked into that, even if that means you have to avoid certain stores for the first month of the year, or go with a friend or family member, because you're going to be bombarded with diet pills and diet programs and diet commercials and diet billboards and liposuction this and liposuction that, and oh my gosh, I can drive on the freeway by my house, and within an hour I probably hit 10 gastric bypass surgery signs, especially once I get up to a county that's a couple counties away. They happen to have a big bariatric clinic that does gastric bypass, and it's just, you're bombarded like crazy, and especially this time of year in a bad economy, everybody wants to make money, the diet industry makes tons of money, and even a bad economy, and so, they play off of our emotions and off our bad self-esteem. So, create those kind of things and be aware of what triggers you, and find a way to figure out how much can you cope with before you need, I wouldn't say avoid all your triggers, but think of things that you can do to let yourself know when you've had enough, if you need to leave a situation, or if you need to bring a friend to a party, what you need to do, get yourself on a schedule, and be with family, don't isolate yourself. That can be very difficult too, but isolation generally makes things worse. So yeah, I know you can do it, and if you have any questions or need any ideas, I'm sure any of the freedom fighters would be happy to address your question and offer support. And so I hope you have a great holiday, and try and make it a good holiday for whatever holiday that you are celebrating